I've been writing the new album for 2 years, and I started writing it in 2010 and finished it in 2012. So those are some really important years of my life. I went through a lot, I learned a lot of lessons, and so to get to write about your life as it's happening to you, I really love that the fans want to know what's going on with me. The album Speak Now was a completely different project than the new album Red. There are so many differences in how it was made, why I made it, the reasons behind the songs. Speak Now was really about saying things that I had been either too shy or too scared to say in the past. And as you grow up, I think making that album and promoting that album taught me to be more bold about how I feel, what I think, and in incorporating that into my life, you end up in some intense, tumultuous conversations or relationships, and I think in living my life in a little bit more of a braver way, I got to experience the kind of life experiences that would inspire an album like Red. I collaborated a lot on this new album because I wanted to. I just felt like, as an artist, putting out your 4th album, you have 2 choices. You can stay the same or you can evolve. And I really wanted to bring in my influences, these people who I'm a huge fan of, and have them help shape this album. And so I felt so lucky that my favorite people in music wanted to be a part of this record. I'm inspired to write songs at any time of day, when I'm going through something or when the dust has settled and I'm over it. It can be anything. It can be, I'll just be doing dishes or something, or, in the middle of an interview, and I could get an idea in my head that just kind of sticks out as like, that could be a hook, that could be a pre-chorus, that's like a first line. Like, sometimes it's lyrical, sometimes it's got a fragment of melody attached to it. And the unpredictability of it is what makes me continue to fall in love with songwriting over and over again. When I'm writing songs, the only thing I'm thinking about is portraying that emotion as accurately as possible, so that if I were to play it for the person it's about, they would know it's about them, and they would know exactly what I was talking about. And then I think about my fans, and if that's going to help them with something they're going through in their life, if it's something they could relate to. And then I think about what it would be like to play it in an arena, and how we would treat that, and what the lighting would look like, and it's kind of the third thing I think about. I think for me, having a magnifying glass on my life has been a good thing, and kind of a difficult thing at times, because you feel like you literally just can't get away with anything sometimes. You're like, wow, if I make a mistake, it's gonna be really loud, that's gonna be everywhere. But it also helps to kind of shape your decision-making process. And because everything that I do is gonna be documented and in computers forever, it makes me think about what the little kid in the front row would think, and what my grandchildren would think one day if I made this choice or that choice. I think it's kind of a good governing tool. It makes you more responsible for how you act.
I'm Taylor. Good evening. I want to first thank Billboard from the bottom of my heart for this honor. Whoa, this is going great so far. Excellent. Okay. I want to say thank you so much to Billboard for giving me this honor, for naming me as their Woman of the Decade. So what does it mean to be the woman of this decade? Well, it means I've seen a lot. When this decade began, I was 20 years old, and I had put out my self-titled debut album when I was 16, and then the album that would become my breakthrough album, which was called Fearless. And I saw that there was a world of music and experience beyond country music that I was really curious about. I saw pop stations send my songs Love Story and You Belong With Me to #1 for the first time. And I saw that as a female in this industry, some people will always have slight reservations about you. Whether you deserve to be there, whether your male producer or co-writer is the reason for your success, or whether it was a savvy record label. It wasn't. I saw that people love to explain away a woman's success in the music industry. And I saw something in me change due to this realization. This was the decade when I became a mirror for my detractors. Whatever they decided I couldn't do is exactly what I did. Oh, I'll take it. Thanks. whatever they criticized about me became material for musical satires or inspirational anthems. And the best lyrical examples I can think of are songs like Mean, Shake It Off, and Blank Space. Basically, if people had something to say about me, I usually said something back in my own way. And this reflex dictated more than just my lyrics. When Fearless did win Album of the Year at the Grammys, and I did become the youngest solo artist to ever win the award, with that win came criticism and backlash in 2010 that I'd never experienced before as a young new artist. All of a sudden, people had doubts about my singing voice. Was it strong enough? Was I a little bit pitchy? All of a sudden, they weren't sure if I was the one writing the songs because sometimes in the past I had co-writers in the room. At that time, I couldn't understand why this wave of harsh criticism had hit me so hard. I believe a popular headline back then was "A Swift Backlash," which is clever, you gotta give it to him. And now I realize that this is just what happens to a woman in music if she achieves success or power beyond people's comfort level. I now have come to expect that with good news comes some sort of pushback, but I didn't know that then. So then I decided that I would be the only songwriter on my third album, Speak Now, and that I would tour constantly, work on my vocals every day, and perfect my stamina in a live show. I decided I would be what they said I couldn't be. I didn't know then that soon enough people would decide on something else I wasn't quite doing right, and then the circle would keep going on and rolling along, and I would keep accommodating, overcorrecting in an effort to appease my critics. They're saying I'm dating too much in my 20s? Okay, I'll stop. I'll just be single for years. Now they're saying my album Red is filled with too many breakup songs? Okay, I'll make one about moving to New York and deciding that really my life is more fun with just my friends. Oh, they're saying my music is changing too much for me to stay in country music? All right. Okay, here's an entire genre shift and a pop album called 1989. You heard it? Sick. Now it's that I'm showing you too many pictures of me with my friends. Okay, I can stop doing that too. Now I'm actually a calculated manipulator rather than a smart businesswoman? Okay, I'll disappear from public view for years. Now I'm being cast as a villain to you? Okay, here's an album called Reputation, and there are lots of snakes everywhere.